Hey everybody out there in the board game world. Now this is a video I did my best RPGs of 2019. I uploaded that video a little while ago, and this is my video of my best board games of 2019. I'm not going to do a real big in-depth review of any of these during this video. I might end up doing reviews or playthroughs or something maybe in 2020. Don't cross your fingers, but stranger things have happened. But I haven't done a video like this in a long time, and so yeah, I played a lot of games in 2019. I went to a lot of conventions, and I was able to play a lot of games in the gaming group. The big thing here is that my parameter when I rate a game, it is rated on one aspect, and that is how much fun I had playing the game. There is probably, well, usually when I did these videos I would do a top 10 thing. I think I got 14 games over here. These are my top 14 games of the year. But I used to do like 20 honorable mentions or whatever when I did this. I really only have one honorable mention, and that would be Warcry from, and I don't have my box or anything, I don't have a bunch of miniatures to show you, but Warcry from Games Workshop, that was the skirmish level game. Now, when, just really quickly, Kill Team was the 40k Warhammer 40k version of like the skirmish battles, and that was cool and all, I guess. I never played it. I just wasn't a big fan. I've never been a big fan of the 40k world. I'm like that weird person that enjoys Age of Sigmar or Warhammer Fantasy more than the modern era or the like futuristic era. Warcry, I was excited about it because I thought, oh, here comes a brand new super cool thing so I can play skirmish level battles with my Warhammer models. And then they went and they made it like, oh, it's only going to be these chaos teams, and I was like, ugh, I don't really like that. And then they actually came out with these cards that allowed you to play with other armies and, like, be able to insert them. It's not perfect, and the thing about it is that I'm hoping somewhere along the line they'll be able to change that or alter that so it would be when I say it isn't perfect, it's like it seems like the other teams, the other models or whatever, like if you wanted to play an undead group, or if you wanted to play a Savage Orcs group or something like that. It just seems like the balancing's not there, and it's just not done well. Now, I could be wrong on that. I mean, I've played it, and the thing is, I've only played it in store. I don't have my own army made for that or anything like that. Maybe I'll join an Escalation League or something with that and be able to play some more of it in 2020. But Warcry, definitely something I was excited about. I've enjoyed the plays I have, but it just isn't exactly what I was looking for in a skirmish Warhammer game, for fantasy, that is. Alright, so let's just dive in. These are I'll start at number 14, I think. Like I said, I might have 15. I think it's 14. But I'll start there, and I will work my way to number 1. Once again, these are only rated on the amount of fun that I had playing them. That's my only parameter. All right, so first up is Die Hard, the Nakatomi heist board game. So this is based off the first Die Hard movie. This game came out from, I believe, was it Renegade Games, or who published this? The OP games. I mean, they're part of something else, if I remember correctly. But this, the reason I really like this is because it is a one versus many game where actually the one is the hero. And they've done this. There's a few other games, like I think Alone was a game of one versus many where the alone person was the hero. But I really just like this because of the fact that you couldn't play this without quoting the movie, without seeing the movie in your heads. And Die Hard remains one of the all-time great action movies of all time, easily. It's just a classic of the genre. And this game doesn't try to be too much. It doesn't try to be it doesn't like, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for here. It doesn't try to be more than what it should be, I guess. I mean, when I wanted to play that game, when I heard about it, I was like, I want that to be like nice and straightforward and quick and action, and it'll be just kind of fun to see if the bad guys can get John McClane. And it's just kind of a fun game for that route. All right, so up next, this is a game that I didn't even hear about this at first. I saw it being played at a convention. This is War of Whispers. This is from the fine folks at Starling Games, which I think won Best New Publisher at Essen or something, if I remember correctly. Now we all know, like, Starling Games is like it's a rebirth of another publisher company, but they're doing a lot of really, really good things. But War of Whispers is the power behind a throne kind of game. You are not like the king of the country. You are the person behind the king, kind of just doing influence and trying to come out on top at the end. I only have a couple of plays of this so far, but the couple of plays I've had, I really, really liked how the game worked, and I just really, I mean, this is something where, like, if you could get like a Game of Thrones license, this, you definitely could make a Game of Thrones-esque game out of this. And yeah, lots of fun, and I dug it, great deal. Now this one I feel like I'm cheating a little bit because I only got this in December, but I managed to play a ton of it, and I also a Vital fanatic, so this is On Mars. I've really enjoyed my 2 plays of this that I've had. It is exactly what I was thinking I was going to get when I heard about Vital making a On Mars type of game, as far as like the players just trying to colonize and what have you. So you want to be like, you're just developing the most advanced colony you possibly can on Mars, and the as you expect from Eagle Griffin, it's top rate as far as the production value, but also really, really good, really, really great. But I'm like I said, I'm probably biased because I'm a big Vital fan. All right, so up next after that is the game that I was probably the most intrigued by, and it let me down a little bit. I really enjoyed Sanctum. I thought, like, okay, a game that's kind of based on the old Diablo video game. Now, I mean, when I say let you down a little bit, it's still in my best games of the year. I really enjoyed, I mean, they took something that you would think would be just a complete and total massive dice and chaos and crazy game or whatever. They took something that you would think that, and they changed it up, and they made it like way more of a Euro than I was expecting. But I was very pleased to see how they created this. So it's from the designer of Adrenaline, so and I really enjoyed that game as well. And for some reason, when I first heard about this, I thought Vlade had made this. Of course, I was completely wrong, and I was pleasantly surprised because, like I said, I enjoy Adrenaline, and I like that little niche that the designer is creating for himself. As far as, like, Adrenaline was basically a first-person shooter game, but a board game, and now here we have a Diablo game, but it's a board game. And so I dug that, and I had a lot of fun with that. I picked up my copy at Essen. It's kind of, if I show you the box, it's pretty well worn. I played a lot of it, enjoyed it a great deal. All right, so here's a game I played for the first time at BGG-Con, and I immediately went and bought a copy. Paranormal Detectives. This game is fantastic. The only thing I think that's going to hold this game back is the number of ghosts that you have. But from what I understand, they're going to keep making more and more of the ghosts. The big idea is that one person plays the ghost at the table, and the other players are trying to figure out how that ghost died and a bunch of other different things. And there's all these cool little things that you can do where you will ask the ghost to either like draw something on your back, like the ghost is like touching you, and so you kind of have to figure out what they're doing there. The ghost can like reenact the last 2 seconds of their life, kind of thing. And so eventually somebody is trying to like guess how that ghost met their demise, and it's so much fun. It's fun trying to figure out what the ghost is doing, and being the ghost is totally a ton of fun as well. So there you go. Now moving on to my next game, that's going to be this. I'm not a big roll and write guy. I dig roll and writes, but you know, they're kind of like a flushable resource, if you will. Like I enjoy other people owning those, and and I can just play it, and then I don't have to worry about it. I don't have a bunch of these little tiny boxes in my house, because I just, there's too many of them now, and like. You know, for every game like Cartographers, there's like 4 or 5 that just really aren't inspiring to me, and so, but I really enjoyed this. This is where each player, this isn't technically a roll and write, it's like a flip a card and write kind of thing. You can kind of see there in the back, that's what it is. But each person is trying to draw out like the cartography of an area, and this is set in the role player universe with role players. If you know Thunderworks games, they're kind of making a lot of those games in that world. And I really enjoyed this. This is something that my daughter and I have enjoyed playing together, because of the fact that you actually like draw a little map, and it's kind of neat seeing how that comes out and seeing who's the best map maker thing in the game. All right, so coming up next is this is a big giant box. I really enjoy lots of little minis on a map, and I really enjoy Quart of Mourner's Call. Quart of the Dead. This is my Kickstarter version. Oh, I can see if I can get the sleeve off. I'd like to know, do people like the sleeves? I like sleeves. I know, like, Scott Alden has told me repeatedly that he hates the sleeves that are on those. I mean, but I dig them, right? So here's like the real cover or whatever of it. So basically what this is that there are like these equally, like the game considers that both realms, all of existence is basically there's equally corrupt. Heaven and hell are equally corrupt in different ways, obviously, and the dead are enslaved to collect the souls, and then they fuel that war. And so you are a mourner. You are one of those people that is trying to end the celestial war, and this is just, I mean, ultimately it's just a like a controlling area on the board and moving your dudes around. But this was beautifully made, beautifully, and it's one of those things that I like. And the thing is that this is I don't want to say it's semi-co-op, because I don't really consider semi-co-op, but you can fail as a group, but you can, the only one person will win. So and games that are semi-co-ops, they ride a very, very difficult pathway, if you will. You know, because of the fact that there can be some gamesmanship going on in those, but this one does a very good job at preventing that from happening. So I really dig that. All right, so we're getting down to here. This is like probably the only party game that would be. This is the mind reading card game of Medium. This game you can teach to people in about 5 minutes, and it is super easy and super fun. I played this with my family several times, and we really enjoy it. Basically, you put a card in front of somebody, the other person, you put a card in front of you, and the other person matches that card with something. Say like if you said water and cloud, and then you go 3, 2, 1, and hopefully both of you say rain at the same time, and then you'll get points for guessing what the other person is thinking, and that's kind of how this works. And then the thing is that there is only one winner, because like basically you play with the person to your left, and then you play the person to your right, and so you can play with multiple people. It's just fun. It's fun to kind of see where people go with their minds and everything like that with those words, and I really dug that. All right. So now, I should reach over and grab this. So this is King's Dilemma. This one didn't get the excitement that I thought it would, but I really enjoyed my playthrough of this. Now this is a legacy game where each person you're basically working together to go through the storyline of this, you know, like heavy is the head that wears the crown, if you are. So it's I wouldn't call this a game so much as it is like kind of like just a story or a narrative or an experience or whatever, and it's really interactive for all the players to play. And my game group and we really dug like going through this world that this game created, and we really enjoyed our playthrough of it. I just, there's one of those things where it's like after you get done, there's going to be stuff you haven't unlocked, so technically you could go back and play the game again and see the stuff where you unlock, but we just opened up everything and just to read it, because I felt it would be like why would I play through it again just to purposely pick something different? You know, and then you just kind of play through the game again, which I didn't really understand where that. Maybe some of you will do that and you'll like it, but we played through it and then we opened up all the rest of the like legacy elements of the game, so we could definitely like see all the different pathways and how things would be different. And that was actually really fun too. I mean, we get done playing and then we actually started opening up the other envelopes and stuff like that. And it was kind of neat to, as a group, to do that and kind of, you know, just dig into it and see what was going on. All right, so we're getting down to the nitty gritty, and I'm looking over here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 more games, and this is weird because there's a combination of a really simple game over here, and there's like lots of heavy games, and there's a thematic game over here. So let's just go, and we're gonna hit. And then this, if I played it more, I probably would put Maracaibo higher up on my list. I'm a big fan of Alexander Pfister. I think he does a very good job with his designs. Blackout was one of my favorite games of the year before. This might be almost too heavy in a lot of ways. Heavy is good in my opinion, but heavy and unteachable in like less than an hour is tough. And so this is a game that I'll play with my gaming group, the same 4 people, myself and 3 others. We'll play it because we all know the game, but I don't want to have to teach it to somebody else. And plus also, once you've kind of grokked the game a little bit, you know, it's tough, right? It's tough to like get to that point. So this is definitely one of the better games I played. I'm a big fan of heavy Euros, and I liked the way all the gears and the clunkiness worked in this one, and how you perform the actions to win. But it might almost, like I said, it's kind of that it's so heavy it's unplayable unless everybody knows how to play, right? And so like my group and I, we learned how to play the game together. And then we've now played it 3 times, and we really enjoy it, but I dread the idea of having to teach somebody this game, just because of its complexity. So, that's not a bad thing technically, but I mean, it's one of those things. Now, in direct difference to that is this one. The City of Big Shoulders. Now, I've known about this game for a long time. Raymond Chandler showed me this game at Origins 2 or 3 years ago, I think it was. And, you know, and he was like, it's a worker placement train game, like, you know, 18xx game is how he described it to me. And that's pretty much what it is. I really enjoyed the complexity of it. I love the economics of it, and I just loved the presentation. I've since played Raymond's new game that he's working on. I played that at BGG-Con. I really enjoyed that as well, so I'm excited to see his new game. It's nothing like this. It's nothing like an 18xx experience. But I keep your eyes on Raymond Chandler. He is going to be making some amazing games in the future. I fully believe. Now, this is my 3rd best game of the year. So, a long time ago, I did a Troyes video, or whatever you want to call it, and that still remains one of my top 10 games of all time. And here we have Black Angel. I got this game at Gen Con. I've played it. This is one of those rare games that has gotten more than 6 plays in a year for me. I rarely play games that often. I would play the same game more. This is absolutely fantastic. I love the theme. I mean, and a lot of people are like, they say the theme is really abstracted from the mechanisms in this, and yeah, I see that, but I mean, I was able to like really apply the theme to the game, as far as like, you know, what I was doing and how I was affecting like my AI or whatever, you know, the artificial intelligences in the game. So a lot of people have sung the praises of this. I mean, it is also one of those games that the rare ones that I played earlier in the year that have stayed one of my top games over the course of the year. And actually, I can say that about this game and 2 more, the last 2 that I'm going to show you. And great game, great heavier game, and but it's an approachable heavy game, which I really appreciated, which I can't really say about Maracaibo, as I've already alluded to, if you will. All right, so quickly, number 2. As I said, these are the games I had the most fun playing. So this is a game you probably don't even know exists. It's called Flip Over Frog. It is from the fine folks over at Hub Games. I picked this up as a, like, why not? I'll just snag this. That was like kind of my attitude. I picked this up at Gen Con, and my daughter and I have played this 20 times, I think. This is a very, very simple game where you get a color of a frog. One of these cool little guys are over here. And you have to make sure at the end of the game, more of your frogs are showing on the board than any of the others. And when you place frogs on top of frogs, you flip the tiles over. And so like there's a memory component to it, but also like there's a snake that eats frogs, a tile that you can put down. And so it plays really quickly. I think it excels as a 2-player game because there is some bluffing going on. Like you're pretending that you have yellow frogs, that's what you want, but maybe you try to put green frogs out there. And so then people try to bury the green frogs, and then they end up showing off the yellow frogs, which is exactly what you wanted. It was surprisingly deep and surprisingly had a lot of replayability, which I've said is not that big of a deal, but the fact that like my daughter and I challenged each other over and over again at this game, we had a ton of time. And now plus it was just fun saying flip over frog, and we just love saying that over and over again. So flip over frog, most fun game, second most fun game I've played all year. All right, so number one, this might not be a surprise because I've extolled the virtues of this game to many, many people, but here we go. This is my number one game. It is thematic. It is Jaws. Ravensburger knocked it out of the park with this. Not only did they make a fantastic like a one person being hunted type of game that you find like Fury of Dracula, where of course there's Dracula. Here one person plays Jaws and the other 3 people play, or one person, or if it's 2 players, Quint, Hooper, and Chief, and Chief. So basically, one person plays Bruce, the mechanical shark, and the other person, plays the 3 people trying to kill the shark. The game has 2 very special, separate methods. One is the actual hunting the shark and trying to track him down. You get 3 barrels in him. He can't go down, not with 3 barrels in him. And you try to do that, and so once you do that, or the shark eats enough people, you go to the fight, the demolishing of Orca, the Quint's ship, and trying to kill the shark at the very end. You can't possibly play this game if you're a fan of the movie, which I am. I'm a huge fan of the movie Jaws. You can't play this without like quoting the movie constantly, and that is something like I mentioned with Nakatomi Plaza, a Die Hard game. It adds to it. If this was just, hey, hunt down this shark game, or hunt down this giant snake game, or hunt down Bigfoot game, or something like that, it wouldn't be as good. But because of Jaws, because it actually has the like basically pictures and scenes and everything from the movie that you actually can like see and breathe and like be excited about, this is fantastic, and it is the most fun game I played in 2019. So there you go. If you have any comments about any of these, any questions about any of these games, by all means, please ask me. I'm happy to talk to you about that. If you have, why don't you tell me, like, if you think I'm way off base with any of these picks, go ahead and say that. If you think I totally missed a game that was like your number one game of the year, there's other games out there that I just, I would give honorable mentions to, but I didn't want to have like 15 honorable mentions. Like Cooper Island was a really, really good game that I played. Of course I'm going to draw a blank here when I'm trying to think of games, but, there were tons of really good games that came out in 2019. These just happen to be the ones that I played and the ones that I had the most fun with. Take that as you will. So like I said, let me know what you think. Let me know what your top games were. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. I really appreciate it. Until next time, you're awesome. I'm the Undead Viking. I'll see you later.